I've had a crazy year. We've won 2 lawsuits against the government health agencies. How many people can say that? A lawsuit against Health and Human Services for not upholding the law that took liability away and not making vaccines safer. We won a lawsuit against the National Institute of Health, and we settled a case with the FDA when we asked them, will you please provide the science where you did trials with pregnant women with the flu shot and the Tdap vaccine, since every hospital and every mall has posters saying that if you're pregnant, you should get a flu shot and a Tdap vaccine. We said, we would like to see your trials that involve pregnant women. And they fought us and they pushed back, and finally we sued like we always do, because you have to sue to get the truth in the United States of America now. And you know what they said? We never tested those vaccines on a single pregnant woman, ever. Never. Never did it. So every lab and white coat walking into offices here and saying that vaccines are safe and effective are lying, because they've never done the studies. They never test on the people they say they're going to. We've also proved beyond a shadow of a doubt with the Informed Consent Action Network, my nonprofit, that not a single childhood vaccine has ever been through a double-blind, inert placebo study. Not one. So it is illegal to say that that product is safe. There's no drug that could say it was safe that did not go through that process. These vaccines are not going through the scientific method. There is no science happening here. And that's what we proved. And so what are they doing? They're refusing to have a debate. They're refusing to sit down with us and answer to why they refuse to use the scientific method when they say that vaccines are safe. They refuse to answer to anything. Instead, they're using our government officials to use martial law and force us into compliance. No! You know what that means? It doesn't mean we're winning, folks. It means we have won. We have won the scientific argument. We have proved they cannot come to the table. What team has ever forfeited entering the field and was given the win? Your medical establishment is not here. They will not stand up and address us. They will not talk science because they have no science. I have to read every day that the information in Vaxxed is misinformation, that the information I share on the high wire is misinformation. What that means is it's really inconvenient information for the status quo. I want to lay out a couple of the actual factual stats that they don't want you to hear on social media, Instagram, YouTube, Amazon. Here it is. In the United States of America, more babies die on the first day of life than every other industrialized nation combined. In the United States of America, more babies die in the first year of life than every other single industrialized nation. In the United States of America, more pregnant women die giving birth than every other of the 20 richest nations in the world. In the United States of America, the third leading cause of death is now hospitals themselves, dying for reasons other than you went into the hospitals for. They don't want to hear that stat. Rather, they would like to talk about tens of people up in Washington that have the measles. That's the national emergency. Not babies dying, not pregnant mothers dying, but people running around their backyards and jumping on trampolines with a rash for 4 days. That's what we're supposed to be terrified of. I also want to point out that when they say to you that vaccine injury is 1 in a million, it's so rare, it's 1 in a million. Yes, I'm talking to you, Dr. Peter Hotez, the lying shill of the pharmaceutical industry. In fact, he went on to say it could be as low as 1 in 10 million injuries. So let's just talk about the facts. These are facts that I give every single day, everywhere I go. We only have one capture system in America for vaccine injury. It's called the Vaccine Adverse Events Reporting System. In 2018, now this system is when you get a seizure right after a vaccine, your doctor's supposed to report it. If your child dies 3 days after a vaccine, the doctor is supposed to report it. If your child develops autism a few months later or a year later, your doctor is actually supposed to report that. It says it right on the label, on the insert of the vaccine. Well, let's look at what was reported. In 2018 alone, over 58,000 reports of vaccine injury were put forward in America alone. 58,000. That means if vaccine injury is 1 in a million, there's 58,000 million people living in America right now. Someone tell me who's giving out the misinformation. These are facts. This is the Health and Human Services own record. But even scarier, of those 58,000, over 400 of those reports were of deaths by vaccine.